Ah, the dirt, the grime. It reminds me of the jump bucket.
You've got your I-beam thingy. Why don't you use it on those pylons?
Hello, welcome back. We're doing more giant plankton punching and stomping, and it's gonna be really fun. And in this video, we will be doing a part of the game that exists in a genre, I suppose, of games where when I was a kid, I would get to that part and for some reason just couldn't do it, just wasn't good at it or couldn't figure it out. It is a place that exists in all of the console SpongeBob games that I have Let's Played so far. You might remember that in Battle for Bikini Bottom, it was the end, the last level. So I think that one's pretty. I think that's excusable. Or not excusable, but that's pretty good. You get almost to the end and then you stop playing, because that's what I would do. Is that I would get comfortable just getting up to that part of the game. I'm pretty sure I talked about this earlier in the LP, where I would. After a while, I just kind of accepted, like, I don't know how to do this, and I don't really feel like, taking a million years to try to do it, so I just kind of want to enjoy playing the game, so I would just play up to that point, and then, give it a shot, and then if I got annoyed or whatever, then I'd just stop, and then if I wanted to play it more, I would probably just start it over or go back to other levels, so, in Battle for Bikini Bottom was the last one. I just couldn't figure out. I just always died on the final level for some reason. And then in the movie game, it was the Planktopolis level, specifically at the very end of that one, where you have to run the whole gamut in the lava and then hop up to the conveyor belts and blow up the last Plankton statue. Which I did not successfully do until, like, 12 years after that game came out, and I played it for the first time. And then, in Lights, Camera, Pants, a little different, and it wasn't always... it was the earliest that I think I ended up beating it. And it was a different circumstance, because it had nothing to do with my ability. It was just that my copy of the game was fucked up, so I would get to the mini game called Rubble Rabble in the prison level, the last audition of the prison guard audition level section thing, and the game would freeze, like, in the last round of it, with seconds left in the game, and so it wasn't until a lot later when I bought that game on another console that I ended up beating the game. And then it was very long before my LP of it that I had played it. All the way through, that is. I'm sorry I'm taking so many pauses. I am just burping like a motherfucker, and I'm just a little tired and sluggish after work today. Had a little bit of a full day. Lots of waiting and standing around. I was saying to someone earlier that, like, I always feel like a psychopath when I'm, like, standing around and waiting for something, which is something I do in my day-to-day life quite a bit, just with the nature of my day. I was just waiting in line for things, be it, food or the elevator or whatever, or in the elevator, or you're sitting and nothing's really going on, and if you're in the subway or at work or whatever, and you can't look anywhere because there's people everywhere, and they're gonna think you're looking at them, and then you're gonna have to do a weird thing. And if you look at the floor, you look like a sad idiot. And so you have to look at your phone the whole time, because that's what people do now when they're in an idle situation. Yeah, this is me trying to beat up the door, even though you just have to kill the two turrets, but I'm I'm a little baby boy and I don't know anything, so I had to figure it out. Yeah, the eye laser would be a lot cooler if it, like, worked well. I don't know, just sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, that time he does the, you know, swipe all across the whole screen, and it worked, but sometimes you'll watch the beam go through the turret, and it'll just not do it, even if you're pretty close to it, so I don't fucking know. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I have to have my phone out all the time and look at it, and I'm like running out of battery. Like I'm out of the house and waiting for a lot of my day, like several hours altogether, and like there are only so many fucking posts that I can look at, and you know I'm blowing up the phones of my friends just with, you know, sharing memes and takes or just saying things because it's just me and my thoughts, and I have to be doing something on my phone or I look weird. Because I swear to God, especially in the city, if you just stand in like a public place and just look forward and don't move or do anything, which is what I would prefer to do, or even, you know, shuffle around, but you're standing in one place because you can't really do anything else, you're just waiting for something, or you're sitting there or whatever, and you're just kind of looking around and, you know, maybe looking at your hands or tapping or whatever. I don't know, people give me looks, they look antsy, they're like, what are you doing here? And, so, but if you look at your phone, they're like, okay, well, at least he's looking at his phone. You know, something's going on the phone, that's why he's there. I don't know what it is. But I've been thinking about it every day for the last couple weeks. And I was thinking about it today because I was waiting in a lot of different places. And it all culminated in me waiting in line at Wawa, which always takes forever. I just wanted the spicy turkey club, which I did get, and I ate it, and it was very good. But while I was there, I was like, man, I just had a whole day at work where I was, you know, looking at my phone intermittently when nothing was happening, and I was just supposed to stand there, or sit there, or whatever. And, like, now I'm at, like, 25%, and I've already seen all these tweets, and I can only read, you know, shit about the Iowa caucus and how, you know, 1917 is going to win Best Picture. I can only read that 9,000 times before I start being like, okay, that's it. And I start going on to, like, subreddits that I am subscribed to but haven't looked at in months. I'm just going through texts and messages and seeing, like, is there any conversation that I can continue or start? It's just a lot to think about. And you would think with how introverted I am that I wouldn't keep putting myself in professional positions that required me to make close interaction with members of the public. But here I am. I keep doing that. Most, if not all, of my previous jobs involved that to some degree. Anyway, so yeah, just kind of normal Plankton rampage stuff. You gotta hit these beams with your eye beam to open the thing. And I don't know, the eye beam's cool, but again, I just wish it was kind of different. I don't know, maybe you would get spoiled with it if it didn't have to charge, but it should charge quicker at the very least, because you just, like, if there wasn't all this shit to mindlessly, you know, smash, and most of it doesn't give you anything. I mean, I try to do it just because they usually have hearts and the roar megaphone things in them, which, you know, it's good to always have a surplus of those, just because they're an easy, like, if you have low health and there's, like, a lot of things coming at you, and you can just get in the middle of it and do the roar, and then it'll all go away pretty quickly, so it's nice to have that as backup. But very few of them give you Zs. Like, my Z count for these levels is abysmal, and I hate it. And also, you may have seen just a second ago that thing that is pretty bullshit that happens all the time, where I'll be walking forward, and I'll be walking toward one of these things that shoots stuff before it shoots. I won't be doing what I'm doing now, where I'm just being reckless and letting them hit me. But earlier, I was walking toward one of those things that shoots rockets, and I got up to it because it was before it shot a rocket, and I was going to step on it so it would die. And, is that UFO abducting a chicken? It's fun. I don't know if I noticed that when I was playing this. But then it had to start the fucking cutscene, and in the cutscene, like, the game keeps going during the cutscene, showed the fucking door closing. And so then the rocket hit me when I got back from the cutscene. It's bullshit. It happens like 4 times in this video. This is the part that I could not get past as a child, and I guess I see why, because it took me a couple of tries this time. And honestly, it's not particularly difficult. Again, it's just like the game taking longer and being more difficult just based on the precarity of the game's own design, because you have to use your laser, your eye thing, to hit these turrets, and they're only out for a short bit of time, and you have to be pretty front and center to them and pretty close, as you can see, to get the eye laser, because I didn't think I was that far away. I'm pretty sure I shot one of them from that far away earlier, but it's very arbitrary about when the laser actually hurts them, and then you do like me, where you try to just post up and take it, but if you're low on health, which you probably will be because they start you off with this barrage of rocket things that you kind of have to take shit from in order to hit a lot of the time, and being able to reasonably aim the fucking eye laser requires standing still for an amount of time. Yeah, it sucks. And then there's the fact that it's not fun, because, as people who have watched my LPs for a while know, my least favorite thing in games is where the quote-unquote challenge comes from the fact that you have to wait a long time to do something. And I don't like it, because you have to wait until your eye laser is charged up, and then you have to wait for the things to come. And and you need to be in position and have it fully charged before it has shot its rocket, because in like the second after it shoots its rocket, it's not going to be out long enough for your eye laser to hit them and blow them up, because it needs to be hitting them. Usually it needs to be hitting them for a good amount of time, but sometimes it'll just go right through and it'll be fine, and I have no idea when that is, because again, it's completely arbitrary. And so yeah, it just took a few tries, and it is really tedious for no reason and takes forever. And if you miss, which happens like 50 times, then you have to wait for the fucking thing to charge again, and that's a whole other process. And like, I just hate that kind of shit. I hate stuff that's just like, yeah, you have to stand there and not do anything, and then if you die, it's this whole tedious process. You have to start all the way from the beginning again. I just don't understand what would possess someone to think that that is a fun thing that I want to do in a video game. But that's me. And I'm done bitching about it. But I literally had not beaten I hadn't done this or any part after this any time that I played this game until like July of last year, which is when I downloaded this ROM and played through this game for like the whole way through for the first time. I've only beaten this game all the way through once, and it was like 6 months ago. So I'm not saying we're in uncharted territory, and the levels that are to come are not particularly any more challenging than anything else that has been in this game so far, but yeah, you get it. I had like a whole thing written down that I was going to talk about in the notes. I thought this was going to be a lot more boring, but I ended up complaining about stuff, which is so much more fun. But yeah, there we go. We did that again. Yeah, we have some happenings. Something's happening. Let's see what happens.
We made it! Hey, is that...
Not moving.
Who's the petty now, Krabby Daddy?
Hey, Plankton! There's something...
Oh man, Jenkins looks so silly.
Haircut? Whoa! Look out!
That's my Krabby Patty, you porous pest. Give it back!